DynamicCardStore.com to get the cards. Icons, legends aiming at the stars. Hursty at checkout to save your points. Now your bank account won't be staying empty. DynamicCardStore.com. Use code Hursty. Go on.
Hey there guys, welcome back to Hursty Games and welcome to a quick review of some new ICON Moment SBCs that have been released on FIFA 21. So today, or at the time of you seeing this, last night we had 3 new ICON Moment SBCs released. There is the Prime Moments Ballack that has been released. You've also got ourselves a Rui Costa Prime Moments and a Peter Schmeichel Prime Moments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these cards, have a little look at their in-games. I can tell you right now, I have sadly not used any of these cards in games. So all of these opinions and stuff will be based off the face value look of these cards, and I do ask and request anyone in the comment section, if you have used these cards, and please do give a second opinion in the comments as well, because obviously that will help everyone who's watching this video. But I'm going to go through, give you my thoughts on whether I think these guys are worth it, looking at the cards again, seeing if I think they're, you know, decent looking cards, where I would play them, etc. So without further ado, I think we're going to have a little look. We're actually going to start off with Peter Schmeichel. Now, obviously 93 rated. His in-game stats are the same as his face value stats. The only thing to look at are his speed, like stats attributes, but speed is not everything with a goalkeeper anyway. Face value, this is a very good looking card. Obviously the only thing I would say with keepers this year is they are so hit and miss. You have no idea if a keeper's going to be good, bad or what. But I have actually used Mid Schmeichel, his 90 rated card, and I've really enjoyed it. I actually thought he was very good. I used him for 3 weekend leagues, 2 of which he was fantastic, and he replaced my Neuer because he was much better than him. Then there was a little patch, and Neuer seemed to somewhat be, not better, but just not as bad then as Schmeichel. So this guy could be half decent, and I have to say the price of the SBC is actually not too unattainable. So 11 rare bronze cards, 11 rare silver cards, which is the standard for ICON SBCs. Then you've got the Great Dane, which is an 80 rated SBC. You need 1 Danish player, so someone like Vass, for example, I would recommend being a relatively easy person to obtain. Or you've got Højbjerg, or you've got Delaney from Dortmund. Those guys, I imagine, will go up a little bit in price, but they won't be crazy after a little while. 1 Team of the Week or FUT Champs card and an 80 rated squad. Then you need a United player, a Team of the Week, and an 84 rated squad. Then you need a Man City player and an 85 rated squad, and then a Prem player, a Team of the Week, and an 85. So I have to say, on the majority, this isn't that expensive for an icon. Now, I'm not saying this is a cheap SBC. I'm saying that for an icon SBC, this is not massively expensive. If you are in difficulties with a goalkeeper, or you're not entirely sure what to use, or you have not found a keeper that is quite to your liking, I would recommend getting the loan version of this card and just trying him out. Because the SBC is not massively unattainable and it's not ridiculously expensive, I would say that if you end up quite liking this loan card, this could genuinely be something for you to maybe attain within a couple of weekends of FUT Champs, or, you know, obviously Div Rivals, FUT Champs rewards, Squad Battle rewards, etc. Within 2 weeks or so, you'd probably be able to give this a fair crack at making majority of these 4 SBCs. An 84 and 285 rated SBCs is nothing too crazy to ask for. The only thing I would say, obviously, is for a goalkeeper, and like I said, goalkeepers are very inconsistent this year. But if you are not massively hell-bent on a particular keeper, and like I say, if you're willing to try this guy out as a loan first, which is what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to get this guy's loan card and just try him out. He probably won't go in over Neuer. I've got plenty of very good keepers. Otherwise, I would consider doing this guy just to try him out and see how he is. You've got 50 days. You can very easily make this in 50 days if you commit to completing it. Up next, we've got Rui Costa. Now, face value of this guy, he is 4-star, 4-star, 5'11", and medium. Base stats, pretty darn good for like a you know, a central cam. Not quite quick enough for a wide cam, but with a pace boost, I think he would be more than usable at a wide cam. The only thing with this card, and this is something that for me is noticeable on a couple of cards this year and a little bit last year, none of his face value stats are over 90, and he's 91 rated. Don't really work out how that kind of adds up, but regardless, we'll move on with that. 89 stamina makes him more than good enough and high enough stamina to play a central cam role for 90 minutes. I find anyone with 80 or above can play as a central cam for 90 minutes if you're having them on, even if they're coming back on defense, that kind of thing. Again, the in-games are pretty decent. 97 shot power, 96 long shots was something that I definitely noticed. If you're wanting to play him as central cam, I would say you probably need to have a Hunter on him. just so he's going to be getting those goals and those shots away from you. Boost that finishing. The attack positioning, I think, goes up a little bit too. Just boost everything a little bit all around there. And I think he goes up to about 96 shooting. Obviously, it will take him up to 98 pace as well, which is fantastic. Passing, I think, is pretty good. The dribbling and balance, I would say if you're looking to play him centrally, the Hunter card and everything obviously doesn't affect that, and I'd say probably high enough to kind of make do as a central cam. If you're looking to play him out wide, I would probably say you want to try and do something to the dribbling and the agility and balance. The stinker issue there is that means you don't get as much pace, so it would mean that you're going to have to go with like an engine, so you're going to be on about 92 pace-ish roughly, so it's not the end of the world, but if you're looking for a fast wide cam, then this is obviously not going to be your guy. But the dribbling and balance otherwise as a central cam I think is okay. Defensive stats we don't need to worry too much about, and the physicality is not too bad. Decent strength, which is quite notable for somebody who's not even 6 foot, so it's not too bad to have decent strength on that, and again good stamina. So I think for a central cam position he's going to be looking pretty good. In regards to expenses, again the bronze and silver, which are standard. This time it's a Fiorentina player instead of the I forgot, it was a Danish player, wasn't it, for the Schmeichel card. Then you've got the Benfica Spc, which is an 82 rated SBC, and you need a Benfica card. There's plenty of 81 rated Benfica cards. I think there's even an 82, but I might be making that one up for you. You've also got like Pizzi and all those kind of guys, so you've got plenty of higher rated players if you already have them or need them. So that's, again, a relatively cheap SBC minus the inform. An Inter Milan, that's a lie, AC Milan player, and an 84 rated squad, an 86 rated squad, and a Portuguese or English player, and then another 86 rated squad with a Serie A player and a team of the week. So again, realistically, I don't think this one is massively expensive either. Realistically, a little bit more than the Schmeichel, obviously being 286 rated teams instead of 285 rated teams. If you're looking in regards to, or asking me in regards to value, I would say the Schmeichel is maybe, as long as Schmeichel is half decent in game, is a better value SBC than Rui Costa, purely because I think the face value stats of Rui Costa are decent, but nothing massively like, oh wow, that value looks fantastic, I'm going to go and put Rui Costa into my team. I'm avidly at the moment looking for a new wide cam. Rui Costa for me doesn't tick the boxes that I want him to. I don't think he's any better than the other options I already have, and therefore I probably will be giving this guy a bit of a miss. Again, if for some reason you necessarily need somebody like this, I would say with the Rui Costa being there, depending on what you're already taking or committed to taking from icon swaps, I think Deco is the smarter choice out of taking him from icon swaps rather than taking this Rui Costa card. I think if you look at the face value of those two cards, Deco isn't too much lower than the Rui Costa in regards to pace and shooting. -1 on the shooting and -3 on the pace. He's got +2 on passing and dribbling. Not quite the same physicality, but I would just say on majority, when you compare the price of what this Rui Costa is going to be, if you don't have all of the fodder in your club already, that is, in comparison to the free Deco that is there, if you don't have an idea for what you're going to take, I think the Deco is the smarter choice there. And so I think the Rui Costa is a little bit null and void because of that, because I don't think his card is better than the Deco, or at least better enough at the very least to warrant taking him and going to complete that SBC with the value that it is or will be in comparison to a free Deco. But for me, obviously, the best of these ones that you're going to see is this Ballack card. 6'2", high medium, 4-star, 4-star. Look at those in-game stats. Look at the face value stats. This is a very, very nice card. Hullet Gang, obviously. Decent enough pace, again, with a boost will be absolutely fantastic. Depending on where you're playing this guy, you basically can get away with putting a Shadow to boost the defense, to obviously play him as like a CDM-ish kind of role. You can put a Catalyst if you want like a box-to-box. You can put a Hunter if you want a box-to-box, or a Cam. The Shadow, I guess, would also kind of work as a box-to-box if you're just boosting that defense, because he's already got 90 plus shooting and 90 plus passing. The only non-green stat on this entire card is curve, which is not the end of the world. People know I love a good curve stat, but it's not the end of the world. That stamina means he can pretty much play anywhere. He can play a box-to-box, he can play central cam, he can play wide cam if you really wanted to, you can play hold-back CDM, your choice entirely. Obviously the high-medium work rates won't be ideal, but if you're playing him next to somebody that will stay back, then he'll do an absolute job for you. Again, I would recommend boosting that pace, whether it be Catalyst, Shadow, or Hunt, or whatever it is you're deciding to do. Shooting stats are fantastic. They are nearly as perfect as you can get for that kind of player back there. Passing, I think, is decent. The crossing's a little bit low. If you can play him out wide, then the crossing maybe would be where I would be tempted to say put a Catalyst if you play him as like a wide cam, which I don't think Ballack is quite the player for a wide cam, again, which is the slight stinker for me, because otherwise he is perfect. If I was playing 4-2-3-1, this guy would be beautiful for me right now. Dribbling, okay. The agility and balance is a little bit low. Nothing crazy, you know, stupid, but I think it's decent. The defensive stats, again, not bad. Good heading accuracy, good stand tackling, okay-ish interception and slide tackling, and the physicality stats for me are great. I really like them. Good jumping, great strength, good aggression, and obviously fantastic stamina as well. If I was playing this guy, I'd be putting a shadow on him perfectly. I just think that really suits his card. Takes him to 93 pace, and I think it's 90 or 91 defending, which again just makes that card even more well-rounded and just makes him absolutely perfect. I think this guy's an ideal box-to-box. Getting into his value though, he is a little bit of a pricey boy. So we've got obviously the standard bronze and silver. You've got the Leverkusen Spc, which is where we've previously had those like 80 rated SBCs. This is an 83, so straight off the bat, this is a vaguely expensive part of the SBC already. Obviously, much cheaper than like the 84s and stuff we've seen, but trust me, there are more expensive SBCs to come because it goes straight to an 85 rated SBC with an Inform and a Bayern Munich player. Then you've got an 86 rated team with an Inform and a Chelsea player, 87 rated with a Bundesliga player, and an Inform, and then an 88 with a Premier League player. So this is obviously going to be a very pricey SBC, well over $1 million, I would assume, again, without seeing them on Footbin because they've not been out long enough for Footbin to give them a rough price. This is going to be a pricey card. This is going to be a very, very expensive card, but a card that I think, again, is a very, very good looking card. I think it's kind of like similar to that Messi SBC that came out in the fact that it's very, very expensive. And you're like, oh, that's a very expensive SBC, but it's a good card. Like, I'm going to have a quick look and see how much the actual card itself is on Footbin. Because for me, this is the only one that would really be impacted by his general market price, which is 1.5 million. 1.45 million-ish as of 20 seconds ago on PlayStation, and 1.35 million over on Xbox, 2.5 million if you're wondering on the PC. But yeah, the SBC prices aren't out for these cards yet. Obviously, people haven't gone and finished completing these to see what they're currently saying or sitting at. Just for point of reference as well, the Rui Costa on the market right now is 800 roughly on both consoles. On Xbox, he's a little bit above 800. PlayStation, he's pretty much exactly that. And the Schmeichel is about 600 to 550k on PlayStation and 600 to 650k on the Xbox. So what I would say is pay attention to the market prices of these cards, because realistically, unless you have no coins and you've got, you know, 500k's worth of fodder to complete the Schmeichel, if the card is cheaper on the market, it's worth thinking about that general market price and seeing if it's more beneficial for you to just buy the card tradable than to submit all your fodder and get a card untradable. So bear that in mind. The general ruling of thumb here for me is I would recommend, if you're thinking about Schmeichel, complete the loan, see if you think he's actually decent in game, and if he is decent, go ahead and complete him, because I think he will be a relatively good card for the price of that SBC. I don't think he's going to be 500k for the SBC. I do think he'll be about 400. So that, again, that is a ballpark figure. Please do not quote me on that. That is just a prediction. But I think if he's good, I think he will be of good value, the Schmeichel card, as long as he in-game is actually half decent. The Rui Costa, for me, personally, is a steer clear. I wouldn't go near this card massively. I think the price of it is going to be, firstly, quite near to the price of his card tradable on the market. But secondly, I don't think I could warrant or justify buying this card and paying or using all of my fodder for this card when that deco card is free. And I think a very similar card. I don't think that card is too dissimilar to the Rui Costa. Ballack, very expensive because it's just an expensive SBC anyway, but I don't necessarily think it is past the value of the card. It's a real shame that it's like, if it had peaked at 87, so there was still the same amount of SBCs, but like it was an 87, 86, 85, like all of the SBCs kind of went down by one. That would obviously be fantastic, and I think the value of this SBC would then be great, but it is quite pricey. There's a lot of cards to submit, and it's an expensive boy. It's as simple as that. Ballack, I think, is cool. I'm happy to see a card like Ballack, a card that is like 1.5 mil. For me, this is like the Nedved of the last one. I think the Nedved was the best card of that last set of 3. I think Kluivert was kind of cool though. I think Kluivert was unique and is actually not too bad a card, and I think Puyol's, again, an okay-ish card to kind of see or use. But for me personally, I would say out of the 3, Schmeichel the best value, Costa is a steer clear, and then I think Ballack is a good card, but it's an expensive boy. So let me know your thoughts down below. Again, anyone who has used these cards, please let us know down below your experience with these cards, if you think they're good, bad, or whatever in between. Helps everyone out and lets us know whether we think these are worth doing or not. But that's my thoughts. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Please do leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it or found it vaguely helpful. Again, comment down below to help us all as well with your opinions on these cards too. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please do hit that sub button, turn notifications on as well to be told anytime that we upload a video, or indeed go live with a live stream. There'll be a live stream later today with the 6 o'clock content. I'll be going live at roughly 3 p.m. Saturday, there's actually going to be a stream in the evening instead of in the morning, with a video in the morning. So just bear that in mind. Things going the other way around there. But for now, guys, thank you very much for watching. I've been Tom. You guys have been awesome. And I'll see you soon. Look after yourselves. And, of course, wash those hands.
What?
In a bit, guys.
Now his name is Hursty. Slap bald head, yeah, it'll probably hurt me. Bang top bins, it'll probably hurt you. Ginger, streamer, platform, YouTube. Drop a name in the chat or say hello. Entertain you already know. Capital H, yeah, I'm a read it slow. Hursty Games, yeah, you already know.